In this live self-defense training video, you're gonna learn how to hit someone with a stick for self-defense, how to use the short self-defense stick. This is just a dowel rod, it's about 16 inches. I cut it off of a bigger piece. It's made out of oak, it's very strong, it's very simple. You train with this stick so that when someone attacks you and you don't have anything else, you can pick up a stick and use it in self-defense. A stick can be any material. It can be an improvised stick. You can roll up a magazine very tightly, hold it tightly in one hand, and then use it to strike very fast, very powerfully, very explosively in self-defense. This is how to hit somebody with a stick for self-defense using the basic short stick for self-defense. Now, there are two ways. There's one way really that you can hold it, especially, you're gonna see this very fast. You can hold it like this with your hand here, or you can hold it like this with the long side coming out of the pinky. So either the long side is coming out of your thumb and you have this type of slashing, thrusting, two hands, pushing, striking, or you have it in this position, same kind of thing, but more of an ice pick attack, like stabbing or slicing through this way. You can also get the other hand there to give it more support. With two hands like this, you can still do this motion, but you have two ways to hold it. I wanted you to learn how to use this short stick for self-defense. Good evening, Matthew. Fast. I want you to learn how to hit somebody with a stick for self-defense using the short stick for self-defense very quickly, very fast. Get it into your training regimen so that you have extra tools, extra options. I also wanted to show you that it's still going to give you a little bit of a reach advantage over a knife, but it's not even if it's not as long, carrying it in one hand, using it against the knife for self-defense, you're not parrying or blocking the knife. You're going to be using it to strike into the head or into the body of the person who's carrying the knife. So you use it to defend against the knife, but not stick against the knife. That's the big mistake people make. Don't worry about trying to hit the knife. Hit the hand that's holding the knife, or hit, better yet, turn off his operating system that's holding the knife. And again, you either hold it here or you're gonna hold it here. Hey, Studer, it's good to see you. Now, what I want you to practice is changing from this position, and this comes from using the tanbo. The tanbo is the shorter version of a Japanese or Okinawan self-defense stick. So just practice. This is also going to be good for brain elasticity. Walking your fingers up and down in two different positions. And again, from this position here, you have simple thrusts. Always go into the center line, into his nose, his eyes, his teeth, anything that you can destroy or remove for self-defense. His ability to see you, his ability to breathe temporarily, permanently through the throat. Always thrust first. Stop his forward advance here, and then take the other hand and then thrust harder. Pull in like you're doing push-ups, and then striking just like this. Yeah, Matthew says finger work. The second way, holding it in this position, you can, again, use this over the top. This also will disguise it a little bit, but you can still thrust in this position. You can use this to strike coming through in this position here and come back. This backward strike. Oh, hello, Tony. It's good to see you. This backward handed strike is very powerful. And I wanted you to learn how to fight with this self-defense, the short stick, in both positions. You can do this also with a longer stick, like a Kali, Arnis, or escrima stick. Striking this way, thrusting here, and then bringing it back. Striking this way, thrusting here, coming back in the other position. So the same thing works whether you have the super long stick or the shorter stick, and even if you use something like the Kubotan. And the Kubotan keychain gets a lot of flack from a lot of people because they don't understand how it's used. You can simply use it holding it in this position, thrusting into the stomach, into the throat, into the eyes, into the nose. This is something you can carry with you. Just like the short stick, you can put in your hand and punch, making it a much harder punch, like you're holding a roll of quarters or a roll of pennies. Kind of old fashioned, right? Kind of like a knuckle duster. From here, you could also be carrying it in this position, using it to strike down, striking in, coming around here. The guy is behind you, turning and striking, using this extending motion to create a lot of stopping power using your short stick. Now I have this in the other hand because I wanted you to see this. This is something that I teach when we teach a certain group of people. I'm not going to say it here, but they feel vulnerable. They're in a position where they feel like they have nothing to protect themselves, and they've been told to run, hide, or fight. And they look around and like, fight with what, right? But if I can't run or hide, what am I going to fight with? And I say, pick up one of these. This is a dry erase marker. You put it in your hand. It's the same thing as carrying a Kubotan. You now have, and people will say, well, that's going to break eventually. Well, yeah. But again, you got to remember, this hard plastic against nose, against teeth, against eyes, against the temple, against the neck, against the throat. It doesn't matter if it breaks, if it goes into the throat, you're going to collapse their windpipe. They're done. They're not coming back from that. But you hold it in the same way, either holding your thumb here, striking in, striking across, coming down into the body, coming behind you this way, turning into the face, or you hold it in the other position, holding your hand here so that the long side comes out of the thumb. And that's the basic rule here. Either the long side comes out of the thumb, or the long side is going to come out of your pinky. And then from here, thrusting into the stomach, thrusting through the face, coming around. And look, I did break it. Of course I broke it. I hit too hard. But the point is, if that's going against his temple or his eyes or his nose, that's better. And it's still here. I still have something to fight with. You're going to, yeah. And Tony says he carries a piece of PVC pipe in his pocket for the same reason. Will the PVC pipe break? Eventually, yes. But what are your targets? Are you going against his arms, his bones, or are you going against the soft tissue of his body? That's the goal when you use a shorter stick like that. So you can either carry the Kubotan on your keychain. If you find yourself in a situation where you've got nothing else, but you pick up your pin, maybe you carry a ballistic pin. A ballistic pin is made for self-defense. We'll make a video on that one time. But I just wanted you to see, this is a great option. This is my favorite size these days to teach basic self-defense, because if you learn how to defend yourself using the short stick, and again, I want to show you some things that you should practice, then you can pick up any size stick and all the basic principles apply. So I want you to get into a better position, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Hello, Doug, it's good to see you. From this position, practice your thrust. Thrust in this position with the long side coming out of your thumb. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You want to have knockout power. Turn your shoulders and hips. Knockout power also comes from extension, and knockout power comes when you move your body in with the attack. Mafia says, have you ever had a fight in the street? I haven't had a fight. I don't know if I was in the street, but have I ever been in fist fights? Yes. I don't know if it was in the street or not. Coming forward, turning the shoulders, turning the hips. It was a long time ago. I was young, and there were a lot of them, yes. But hopefully I've matured, and I don't do that anymore. Turning, a lot of times it's where you find yourself. You should, if you find yourself in a lot of fights, fist fights, and you're not a young person, and if you are a young person, you need to learn how to grow out of that, right? That's not a smart thing. Not we all did it. A lot of us have done that, but it's not something you should seek out. Anyway, I'm talking about self-defense, which is a total different thing than a street fight anyway. I'm not going to use this in a street fight and go to jail for the rest of my life. I want to use this in self-defense when I don't have a choice, and it's my life or his life. That's not a street fight. Street fight is a totally different thing. Bar fight is a different thing. Schoolyard fight, all those you should be able to talk your way out of. You should be able to avoid them. And if not, then you should have some basic self-defense. Yeah, roll up a paper magazine, Christian says. Yes, absolutely. But for self-defense, which is a different thing than a fight. It's not a fight. Self-defense is violence. It's violence to stop violence. You're using your short stick. You're either going to thrust here, or if you're in this position, it's the same thrust, because you always leave a little bit of room coming from the front. So you're turning shoulders and hips, 3 things that you need to stop the fight, to knock him out, to back him up for self-defense. First is full extension of the elbow. Second, turning the shoulders and hips. And third, moving your body as you do that. You can see when I take a little bit of a step, I'm now going through the target. You're going to go through the target, which is his face for self-defense, eyes, nose, anywhere in the center line. From here, we're going back to this grip. I want to do this basic thrust. I want you to take the other hand on it and shove, thinking about teeth, nose, eyes, just hitting him anywhere here. And I want you to do a third technique, which is a roll of the wrist. So from here, you're going to roll that wrist and practice getting a hard, powerful strike by turning this wrist over. This is a little bit different technique than you might have done before. So from here, this is your practice. Thrust, shove, and bring this forward, smack him right on the top of the head. You might knock him out, you probably won't with a little one like this. If you use one of these hickory collie sticks, it's that first link below, you will be able to smash bone and break bone with something like this. This is a self-defense stick. It's that first link below if you want to see what it is. This is something you might not have access to, but you might. I carry these. These are in my get home bag. My get home bag stays in the car. The grid goes down for whatever reason. Good evening, W9UFO. Then I grab my get home bag. It's got everything I need to get back to the house, protect my family, including a pair of fighting sticks for self-defense. All right, so same thing, going back to the Kubotan, you have this basic thrust. You two hands on it's not gonna work, it's a little bit different, and then rolling's not gonna work, but you're gonna keep it simple and bring it in here and bring it around the backside and bring it up under his chin and strike either here or again with your thumb here. Bringing it straight in, bring it around the side, bring it around the other side, stick it right in his throat or right there in the solar plexus for self-defense. So you're gonna practice 1, 2, 3. Holding it in this position, I want you to practice 1, 2, 3. Coming straight forward this way. Two hands, opposite grip or alternating grip. This is a basic thrust to the face. You're going to pull to your neck or to your ear, and you're gonna come through with the length, striking here, and then you're gonna pull, and you're gonna thrust. So two basic techniques tonight, or two basic combinations. One, holding it here, because I want you to get used to this and this. In fact, if you want something to practice, and then when you drop it, pick it up. When you drop it, pick it up. Don't be afraid to drop it. If you're not dropping it, you're not training hard enough. Hold it here, 1, 2, roll the wrist. Bring it back here, 1, 2, 3. Mafia Gaming asks, what about punching him with the bike or the car keys? For self-defense, do whatever it takes. Self-defense is self-defense. It's violence against violence. He's trying to hurt you, take something from you, your life, your dignity, your health, your freedom. Use whatever you've got. I don't care if it's keys, elbows, knees. Learn how to defend yourself, but understand it's two separate things. Martial arts is different than self-defense. Thank you, Studer, for that generous donation. I almost said your first name. I never say that because I never know where people are in social media, but I appreciate that very much. 1, 2, 3. The second one from here. 1, 2, 3. I also want you to practice this, pulling through, striking this way when you hold it in this position. So Michael's here. We're going to train. We're going to get some bruises going tonight, maybe some contusions. I don't know. Tonight's a tough one. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Again, Studer, thank you for that donation. And we're going to do more on the short stick this week.